Attention, bobsled riders! You will soon be embarking on a thrilling podcast down the icy slopes of the Matterhorn. So please remain seated, keeping your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the bobsled at all times. Auf Wiedersehen!
Hello, Yodlers! We are the Matterhorn Yodlers. I'm your host today, Jackie. We have...
Kingpin. No, it's Peter.
And...
Mark!
And that's right, Japheth is...
He's somewhere in this mountain. He said he was gonna go get some supplies, and then I heard some screaming and a Yeti yell. I'm sure he's fine though.
Yeah.
He might be with us maybe the next episode. We'll see.
But today we've got Mark joining in with us, and we are going to be talking about a new Marvel series that came out, Hawkeye.
Yes, Hawkeye.
So, if you haven't seen Hawkeye, there will be spoilers. So,
Lots of spoilers.
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
So before we go into details, Hawkeye, yay or nay?
I would say yay.
Yay. Mark?
Oh, a big yay for me.
And for sure, yay for me. I enjoyed it more than the Winter Soldier and
The Falcon.
and the Falcon and
Soldier,
Winter
yeah.
Soldier.
Yeah.
So that's where I am. But we're coming up, spoilers. So listen to our previous episodes. But let's get into the details of Hawkeye. So, Hawkeye, it's dated Christmas time, which is so fun. I enjoy the theming of Christmas.
I think it added to the atmosphere of the series, and honestly, kind of makes it a rewatchable series during Christmas time.
Oh, yeah, for
Absolutely. You could tell they were pulling references from Die Hard and other Christmas movies into this series. So it will be probably a debatable as Hawkeye Christmas series.
Oh, 100%.
I would say so.
Yeah.
It's always about, doing the Christmas traditions. Is he going to be home for Christmas?
Is he gonna be home for Christmas?
Yes.
That's the driving question throughout the entire series. Is he
Yeah.
going to get home for Christmas?
Right.
Hawkeye's gotta get home.
He's got to be home for his kids.
Oh.
So it kind of opens up where Clint is spending time with his kids. He's at a Broadway show, which
It's Rogers.
yes, Rogers, and it's a musical
About the Avengers.
of the
Oh, yeah.
Avengers, and.
Yeah.
And man, it's cheesy music. Like
Oh,
typical
the
cheesy
cheesiest.
Broadway music.
You know they're making it.
You think?
Yeah. You
I-
know they
I
are.
was seeing a lot of the fan
know.
reactions. A lot of people are kind of pulling for it.
I
Well,
think it's going to happen.
And there's people are trying to pull for it to be showed at the new at the theater at Disneyland.
Oh, it wouldn't surprise if they would do something like
Yeah.
that would be an easy
Filler.
fill-in for the DCA theater, the Hyperion theater.
Yeah. So yeah, you get to kind of see Clint trying to spend some time for Christmas because he's been away doing other things. His kids have been away for 5 years, and so his wife was all like, "Go spend time with Christmas," and yeah. But then during his trip to New York, he gets mixed up with Kate Bishop.
Yes.
And Kate Bishop,
Fun character.
such a
A lot of
fun
fun.
character. She's like a wealthy young adult, very show-offy, very skilled, like martial arts,
Archery.
I mean everything.
Who witnessed the Battle of New York from the first Avengers movie
Yeah.
Yes.
and kind of inspired her to take on that active role of becoming almost like a Hawkeye Junior sort of
Yes.
situation
Yeah.
here. That's, she saw Hawkeye in the middle of the battle and said that she could be just like that. And so that's what drove her whole life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, just realizing too that Hawkeye was just a normal person. He didn't have any special powers. He was just a really good archer, had some special arrows and stuff
That's
like
it.
that. Is just like he was very relatable. Yeah.
Yeah. Kate Bishop is back at home. She's discovering secrets of her family that are just not so, what's the right word?
Not kosher.
Not kosher. There are some criminal things that she's discovering, like a secret auction at a Christmas party.
She's very skeptical of her mom's new boyfriend / fiance.
Yes.
He seems kind of a super shady fellow, and so she takes it upon herself to kind of stalk him and try to see what's really going on.
Yep, and so she finds this auction and
Black market auction, and then the suits or the sweat. What are they called? The sweat. The sweatshirt gang, or what is
Oh
it?
no, the tracksuit.
Tracksuits,
Mafia.
that's it.
Yeah.
Tracksuit Mafia breaks in, stealing items, and Kate Bishop puts on Ronan's old gear.
And for those who do not know who Ronan is Hawkeye during the events of Endgame. So when all of Hawkeye's family disappeared in the snap, or the blip, as they refer to it in the universe, he kind of went a little nuts and became a Ronin, and basically was just killing a lot of bad guys around the world needlessly. So, and kind of developed this like hatred in the criminal underworld because he was just straight up just attacking everyone. So yeah.
Yep. So that's kind of the background of the start of Hawkeye. And with all of that, Kate Bishop and Clint kind of work together to kind of clean up some messes, try to find a watch, and kind of resolve everything. So I kind of want to go into Kate Bishop's relationship with Eleanor Bishop, which is her mom, and Jack, which is the fiance. So obviously, Kate Bishop's like, oh, my mom's just like over security, kind of a
She's
rich
the
woman.
head of a security company. So
Yeah, doesn't really know what's going on in the world, doesn't think much of her, but we find out that she's involved in some
criminal activity.
with a big guy.
The big guy.
With a big guy.
The man in charge.
Yeah, the man in charge, Kingpin.
That's right, Kingpin. Which that was a great reveal, to have him show up.
Oh yeah, like I think I remember watching it with you, Jackie, and just like I sat up and got on the edge of my seat when I saw like the pictures. Like, is that the same guy? Is that the same actor?
Was.
And it was. It's just like, oh, okay. So is the Netflix Marvel series? Are they part of the MCU? Or is
I think
it just...
initially it was meant to be.
I know, it was meant
That's
to
what
be.
it was meant to be, and then there was speculation as to it not being because a lot of people hated Iron Fist.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And so they're like, well, maybe we won't include it, but with events, with Kingpin showing up here on the Hawkeye series, and another character, I'm not going to go, I'm not going to reveal this spoiler,
Right.
but another character
Pops up
in
in
the
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
No Way Home, yeah.
And for those who haven't seen Spider-Man, please go see it.
Yes.
Worth it.
Yeah, worth it.
But looking at the box office numbers, you probably already have.
Yeah.
But just knowing the Kingpin character from the Netflix series of Daredevil, this is a very intimidating guy, very scary guy, and I know that that episode leading up to his actual appearance in the show, I was wondering how are they going to handle it because it was super violent in the next Netflix show, but
Yes.
Marvel series aren't into showing a whole lot of blood, guts, and gore.
But they did a good job of making him seem powerful.
Oh yeah.
Like he gets shot in the chest and he just wasn't even fazed by it.
Right.
The whole time I was like, does he have like the super serum or in him?
Well, like in the Netflix series, he has like special armor made by the same guy that made Daredevil's suit, and so I think that's probably what they're alluding to there. But I don't know. We don't really know what it was. But
also, from my understanding from the comic books, Kingpin, like he's this ginormous guy, but like that's not fat. That's muscle.
It's all muscle.
He's a straight like you see him like punch things like and people go flying. That's realistic to how strong he really is.
Right.
And that's how he's able to command such a dominant force in the criminal underground.
It seems like he's the head of all criminal
Pretty
activity
much.
in New York.
He's a pretty big baddie in the Marvel world of villains.
Well, like even in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Yep.
It's just like he's also very intimidating in that as well. So.
Well, and I felt like Kingpin really did not want to be involved with Hawkeye and the tracksuits.
Well, it looks like Kingpin hired Hawkeye, right?
So Kingpin did hire Hawkeye or Ronin
at the time.
The time to kill the head of
the tracksuits.
Which was Echo or Maya's father. And so that was that. I don't think Kingpin knew that Ronin was Hawkeye.
No, I don't think he did.
No.
And so he was just basically a killed assassin that he hired. Which causes that initial villain before we were introduced to Kingpin, which is like Echo or Maya. Which Echo is going to be a new spin-off series on Disney Plus. But Echo is a individual that is deaf, but she uses that as an advantage to read people's speech and movements and can predict. And so she's a really cool character.
Yeah, I'm very interested in seeing where they're going to take her with the Echo series.
It's going to be a prequel or a sequel series? That's the question.
I don't know.
Hopefully it's a sequel.
I think it's a sequel because how they left her off, because she at first is just trying to find Ronin
so she can get revenge.
But then once her and Clint are fighting and Clint reveals who Ronin was, which is himself, she's left to kind of rethink things once she finds out that Kingpin hired Ronin to kill her father. Which I think puts her lost of oh, I'm not really working for the tracksuits anymore, but I'm trying to figure out things on my own. And I think that's what her series is. We don't know if she's going to be good or bad.
She's probably going to be a chaotic neutral character.
Yeah. She's going to do what she wants to do, whatever her goals are.
She has no care for law and order or anything like that. She has her ambitions and she's going to follow through. If I had to guess, it's probably have to do with her number 2 guy, whatever. It's probably going to be a lot of hunting him down.
Yeah. Yes, Kazi. Yeah, Kazi. Yeah.
That guy, the other guy that was helping her.
But apparently there was some sort of love interest, and he was like, no, and she was like, let's just run away, and he's like, nope, this is who I am. I'm supposed to be here. This is all I know.
Well,
Which is sad.
One thing I do want to mention that I really liked about Echo is I like that she was deaf, and I like that, you know, despite her having this disability, she was still like a really capable, really cool character. And I mean, that had a special meaning to me because my stepmom, her parents were deaf, and so she knows sign language and everything. And seeing a character like that, and a big Marvel show, is really cool to see. At least coming from my perspective. Yeah.
Absolutely. So at the end, of course, Echo kind of goes away, and just that's all that we really know of hers.
Yes.
So
she
then
goes on vacation.
She goes on
to clear her head.
vacation.
She goes on a mental vacation, right?
To clear her head.
And that's when you kind of reveal who's running the shots, which is Kingpin. I forgot to mention Echo and Kingpin's relationship, where Echo killed, or supposedly
They heavily implied, but if you don't actually see the body,
yeah. So apparently Echo, did she shoot him?
shoot him.
Yeah, she shot Kingpin.
Well, a gun was fired.
A gun was fired. The camera pans.
We don't know.
The camera pans up as we hear the gunshot. We don't know who.
We don't
shot
know.
who.
We don't know who shot who. We don't know if another person was there. We don't. It just was a roll up, and it's like him pleading, and you hear a gunfire and a body drop. That's about as far as we got to any reveal.
Yeah.
So
I have a hard time believing that Kingpin died for just one episode in the Hawkeye series.
No, he's too good of a character to get rid of.
And I think
you don't bring back the original actor who played Kingpin from the Netflix series just for one episode to die.
Right, yeah. No. Well, plus, and knowing Marvel's track record, even with just like the comics as well as TV series as well as movies, even though a character is quote unquote dead, doesn't mean that they're dead. Or there might be some other way that they bring him back or whatever.
Kingpin could just be like, he got shot in the leg, and she just wanted to be like, I hate you.
Yeah. Who we don't know, and so that's the mystery. And maybe Kingpin will show up in the Echo series.
I have a feeling Kingpin's going to be showing up in a lot of places.
Yeah, I really like how, especially with the more recent Marvel stuff, there's a lot more crossover and just like interaction.
Hopefully we'll get a Daredevil crossover into the She-Hulk series.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
Because they're lawyers.
Lawyers, yeah.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
Well, I mean, didn't Kevin Feige say that, the guy who plays Matt Murdock in the Netflix series is the Matt Murdock in the MCU?
Yes.
So, yeah. I mean, that kind of is like, oh, he's gotta be back.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be great.
That's great. Yeah.
Let's bring in Yelena, which she's from Black Widow. She is basically Natasha Romanoff's like adopted sister almost.
Something like that.
Yeah, some sort of sister relationship.
Right.
They're sisters.
Yeah, they're sisters.
We can just call them
sister.
Yeah, we can just call them sisters because that's how they refer to each other because they kind of grew up with each other. So.
Yeah.
So Yelena is hired, which we find out she's hired by Kate Bishop's mom.
Yes.
To kill Clint, which kind of is interesting because at the end of Black Widow,
that was the end credit scene. Is that we got to see the call happen for
the kill
for Clint.
Yes, and I think that's interesting. What was the woman who comes in and like talks to Elena?
I know she's also known as Madam Hydra.
Oh yes,
but I forgot what her name because she's got a crazy name.
Oh, I don't remember.
Yeah.
I just remember
she wasn't in the series, but yeah,
she's not in the Hawkeye series, but it makes you think you're like, oh, is it's Eleanor Bishop, Kate Bishop's mom, her boss, Miss Hydra.
I probably not. It's probably just like they have like a relationship in terms of like, hey, I need help, can you help me?
Right.
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
Yeah.
Because I don't see the character from Seinfeld.
Yeah.
I forget her name. We'll call her Madam Hydra.
Yeah.
Because that's her comic book name. Madam Hydra's, like, she's not really, like, she's kind of in charge of her own thing.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't see
Or
her necessarily
maybe
as a...
Eleanor hired from her
Yeah.
Elena too.
Correct.
That's probably more it. But yes, Elena's hired by Kate Bishop's mom.
Well, I like
to
the fact that
kill
we
Claire.
got her backstory of what happened with the blip. So
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
The
She got-
transition because she went to another
Black Widow.
Black Widow to cure her, which
found out she wasn't infected.
she was infected.
And
by.
then she gets snapped away.
Yep, she gets disappeared. She's in a bathroom, and then it kind of just shows those that were affected by the blip or that were snapped away. When they return, it's like seconds.
That was actually a really cool scene to see her like go through that transition from being like snapped to being brought back. That was kind of cool watching like the wallpaper change or whatnot in the bath. Like it was just like this weird moment. She's like, "What's going on?"
Luckily, no one was in the bathroom.
Right.
That is something you haven't really considered.
Like, what the heck?
Yeah.
No privacy at all in this place. Sorry, nice little Disney reference.
Yeah. So she comes back and yep, so that was an interesting like backstory of her.
She was the highlight of the series.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
I love Yelena's relationship with Kate
Kate
Bishop.
Bishop.
They're buddies. They're pals.
Like, you want macaronis, Rick? You want macaroni?
And I was watching a video prepping for this, and they were saying was like Yelena was just basically interrogating Kate Bishop for information, but she was doing it in like a fun, friendly way because she knew that was the most effective way to get information from Kate Bishop.
Yeah.
Because Kate Bishop is a talkative character.
Oh, yeah.
Talkative, friendly individual. But honestly, I still love their relationship. The mac and cheese conversation was one of the best scenes.
I love their little banter in the elevator.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
It was great.
It was
like,
fun.
I love their banter back and forth. It's like, don't do this. Like,
Don't get in my way.
Does it? Like, that was great.
Yeah.
Yep. And then, of course, you've got Yelena and Clint's relationship where she feels like Clint killed her sister.
Right.
Which is Natasha.
Right.
And Clint is just trying to get through to her.
Well, I think it's more of like, because the events that took place in Endgame between Hawkeye and Black Widow, like, that scarred Hawkeye.
Oh, yeah.
And you saw that effect throughout the entire series.
Right.
And, like, they, Yelena brings up a point and says, you didn't try hard enough. And he's probably in complete agreement with her at that point. Like, yeah, I should have tried harder. And then he brought his other point. He's like, you know her. When she is going to get something done, she's going to do it no matter what. And I think that's when it snapped with her. Like she, and he made it a point to let her know that, like, Natasha Romanoff, Black Widow, was the true hero.
Yeah.
He wasn't.
Right.
Like, he's not a hero, she was.
Which, many, I think, soldiers or people in the military feel that way when they are in combat and in battle. For those that are lost, they're like, those are the true heroes.
Well, yeah, and you can definitely see that, because Clint or Hawkeye has been put on this pedestal that you see throughout the whole series, it's like, oh, dinner's on us, you saved our city, and he has this thought process of like, I'm just doing my job. Like,
Right.
I did a lot of bad stuff for my job, and I'm just being recognized for, like, the one job that everyone saw I do.
Yeah. It definitely shows, like, a different side of the superheroes. Like, all of these superheroes have a dark side to them.
Yeah. Well, they're human, they're fallible, and just like, and that's another thing that I liked with what they did with the Hawkeye's character is they also made him start going deaf, and wear a hearing aid, which is also an allusion to the comics as well. But just like, oh, he's a regular guy. He's been around a lot of explosions and stuff. He's gonna lose his hearing.
He's like, oh, when did you lose your hearing? And they had those, like,
Oh.
clips of him, like, falling through windows, loud explosions.
Yeah.
And he's like, somewhere along the way.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it's just interesting because it's like you see like the weight of being a hero on Clint, and it's just like you don't see that a lot with a lot of superhero movies because they're all like good, happy people. They're gonna do the right thing, and it's just like you see that he did some really bad stuff, and it's like it weighs on him. He wishes things could have turned out differently. He wishes he still could have saved Black Widow and everything, and it's just like. It was nice to see, like, his character a lot more fleshed out, because I don't feel like the other movies really delve deeply into his character as much.
And I think that's one of the perks with Disney Plus. It
Right.
allows for more storytelling of some of the smaller Marvel characters. Not to say that Hawkeye isn't a small Marvel character, but in comparison to Captain America and
Right.
Iron Man, like, the chances that Hawkeye gets his own movie was pretty slim.
Right.
But with Disney Plus, in all reality, these miniseries are more than movies because you get more story, more information, more...
You have more
You're-
time to tell the story.
And
Right.
you can connect with them so much more. Like, I loved the moment between Elena and Clint at the end, and she's like, oh, I loved her.
Right.
And he's like, I loved her too. And just that, like, human bonding of just, like, they both are...
They're both going through the grieving
Yeah,
process.
absolutely. They're both going through that grieving process, and honestly, instead of fighting each other, they really just needed each other for that to help get over it. Okay, let's talk about Clint. We talked a little bit of him being kind of human. I love the parts where, like, between Clint and Kate Bishop, how, like, Kate is like, oh, are we gonna go to, like, your secret Avengers, like, compound and get arrows and he's like, went to, like, the drugstore and got some
Rubbing alcohol,
Yeah.
bandages. Like, and that kind of speaks to the point of understanding Clint's character. Because, like, Kate is coming from the perspective like, you are a superhero, you're amazing, you need a new brand, and he's got this like, I'm just doing my job, like, I am not in this for the fame, like, I was undercover, like, sort of guy, like, I'm not wanting a brand, and so, like, you've got the two different perspectives on Hawkeye. Hawkeye is a character. You got like the secret agent side, and then you've got like the superhero side, and so like it was kind of cool to see that banter back and forth as to like what Hawkeye is. So,
Yeah.
I love, like, their Kate and Clint's relationship of, like, how fun Kate is around Clint and how Clint is kind of, like, a serious guy. But he is a family guy. He has kids. And
he knows how to have fun.
He knows how to have fun. He knows how to connect with kids. And that's what Kate Bishop is. She's still just a kid. And they still build that relationship. Clint was like, you're not my partner. You're not my partner.
That lasted for a while, and until you get that big moment, she's like, she's my partner, or you're my partner. That's what it was. He came to her and said, you're my partner, when she was ready to give up. You're my partner, and like that was kind of like a cool moment right there.
Yeah. Talk about Clint's wife. Little
yeah.
secrets.
So they didn't really talk too much about what the big reveal was about her wife.
Yeah.
Basically, if you know the comic books, you know what happened. You know what's going on with Clint's wife.
Supposedly, she may be the Mockingbird, which is a character
Yes, she's a
in
character.
a comic book.
Yes, and in the comic book, her and Hawkeye, at least in one comic book, they do get together and have a family. So that was kind of a little subtle reveal. What will come of that? Probably nothing, if I had to guess, but we'll see.
Well, if anything, it just kind of explains how, at least in the
together.
MCU, how they got together. And it's just like, it was kind of cool to see her in more of a, an assisting role, helping him,
Getting information.
information.
Obviously, she still has her strong connections and getting resources. I mean, she found out that Jack is running the tracksuits.
Right.
Yeah. So it was a lot of fun to see that she was more than just, the wife.
But she's actually has a background.
Yeah.
And there's some mystery around her. What's with the watch? What secrets are behind the watch?
Yeah, that was kind of interesting. Like, all I saw was it was probably some sort of thing that connected Clint to his kids, and it was to protect his kids.
Hawkeye's got his kids.
But yeah, I mean that was kind of the connection I had. I had no idea they were going to go in the direction of making his wife a Marvel, an actual Marvel character.
Yeah.
So,
will we see more of her? Maybe.
I think so.
You never know.
Like, you can tell they're setting up like Young Avengers.
Oh yeah.
And so you might see her come back there.
Yeah.
With Kate Bishop and
Yelena.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about Yelena.
You don't think she'll be?
No, she'll make the A
She's
team.
gonna be
Or no, she'll be on the evil.
The
evil
Avengers.
She'll be on that team.
Yeah.
Whatever that, I forgot what that was called.
And do you think? Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Definitely.
So, if I had to guess, that's where she'll end up. She'll be with the evil Captain America, or whatever his name. I forgot what his name was.
Is it U.S. Marshal or something?
U.S. Marshal,
like that?
yeah.
Marshal.
Yeah. That's a whole different
He'll
series
be with
there.
him, and
Yeah.
Some honorable mentions. Pizza Dog.
Pizza Dog! How are we not talking about Pizza Dog?
I know.
he's a cute dog.
He's such a cute
That's
dog.
all he is in this series, though. But I know that he has his own spin-off comic that started recently, at least on Marvel Unlimited. I started reading, and it's just his adventures, and he gets in trouble. He eats pizza. It's great.
Yeah. And then we've got the LARP.
The LARPing group.
Oh,
The
LARPing
LARPing
group.
group. I love them. They just brought
They brought the humor in
Yeah.
to the story that was much needed. Because it is a heavy story line, and so it was good that they found ways to bring comedic characters into the show.
Well, and I love the whole scene where Clint is LARPing.
Yes.
And
He's
the one
always-
guy's like, "Are you ready?" He's like, "I fought Thanos." Just kill
I
it.
thought Thanos.
Oh man, that was a lot of fun. That was a fun scene, just seeing him just totally school everybody, and then the one guy, just let me have this. Let me have this. Let me beat Hawkeye. It's like, okay.
All right,
Yeah.
fine.
Well, it might shock some of you, but I actually was a LARPer once. I did get, when I was younger in high school, I did go to our one of our parks in my hometown and dress up and hit each other with foam swords, and we even did it back on my own home street, and we actually got the cops called on us because we were being too loud, and it was, well, to be fair, it was the middle of the night. So
You rebel.
I'm a rebel LARPing.
Closest thing I ever got to LARPing was we did me and my friends, we did a lightsaber tournament.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
It was legit. Japheth won.
Oh,
yeah.
He participated.
Oh,
He
did
won.
he?
Oh yeah, he
Awesome.
owned us all.
So yeah, so I appreciated the reference because it's like I was
fun.
that I've done that before.
Well,
I was like,
and it just shows that, like, you know, just like Kate Bishop, which, even though, like, Kate Bishop is very skilled and talented, and that she's closer to being a so-called superhero, but you've got LARPers, where most of the LARPers we found out were police officers, firefighters, which are true heroes in real life, and
Yes.
so it was just interesting seeing that side.
well, and they also took a bigger role than I was expecting to, especially towards the later episodes. They're helping, like, you know, at the last party and everything. They're helping coordinate, and they were there as like the waiters and stuff. They're also directing people
For
out of the
safety,
building and
yeah.
everything, and also help fight off some of the tracksuit mafia. So it's just like, okay, this is fun bringing in like more normal people. You could be a superhero too.
Yeah. And I guess some of the LARPers, like, names are characters in Hawkeye's comic book series. Not saying that they'll have a bigger role, but it's just kind of like an O2.
Yes.
It makes the universe a lot more full and deeper connections with the original comics and everything. And so, as somebody who occasionally reads the comic book, I still appreciate that. Just seeing
Yes.
that.
So, do we think there will be a sequel to Hawkeye? Another series?
I don't think we'll see a Hawkeye series. I can see there being maybe the Young Avengers series, and Hawkeye is training the new Avengers, the Young Avengers.
Right.
I can see him taking on that role. I think in the comic book it tends to go to Ant-Man that does that, but I think Clint will be the one that does it.
Yeah.
It
I
makes
could see that
sense, because
happening.
Clint is a original Avenger.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I think we'll see Hawkeye in the future. Obviously, we'll see Kate Bishop, because she's going to...
Oh, yeah.
They heavily implied that she will take on that mantle of Hawkeye for Clint, so that Clint can retire and be with his kids.
Yes.
That was kind of the
transitional,
like...
Well, it just shows his body is not the same anymore.
Yeah.
He's getting older.
Yeah.
It's time for him to transition to the next fit. He's
Yeah.
the old man Obi-Wan training.
Yes.
Yeah.
Looking for the Luke Skywalker to train and raise up in the right ways, sort of thing.
Well, I think you may see maybe a few cameos, but nothing nearly as in depth
As
this show. Again, I think Kate Bishop is the new Hawkeye. It's just like, if there's going to be any new Hawkeye movie or series, it's going to feature her. Any Avengers, she will be in it.
And
so.
do you think Kate Bishop is a good replacement, or the new next Hawkeye?
I think so. I think she'll do a fine job. I mean, she has the skills and ability. Like, she learned the whole finger snapping trick.
Yes.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
Like, she nailed it. She's got the skills. She's just a different personality.
Yeah.
So, like,
Right.
if you're looking for a proper, like, an exact replacement, no, she's not going to fit
No.
But you
Hawkeye's
wouldn't want
mold.
that.
But, like,
Right.
for Hawkeye as a, like, superhero role model, I think Kate Bishop will be a great role model for lots of people to look up to.
Yeah.
A really fun character, too, and just...
Oh, I loved.
Yeah.
I thought they did great job casting her as.
Yeah. Well, I hope there's more interactions between her and Elena. That was a fun friendship to kind of see, like,
Their
frenemy type
duo,
of
yes.
relationship. And I would definitely want to see more of that, in a future movie or series.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so let's give the series.
Well, I've got a question.
Oh, yeah.
I've got a question. So, like, we all say great series. Where do you think the series falls short?
I wanted, like, another few episodes. I wanted more Kingpin.
Kingpin?
I mean, even though it's just like I already knew his character and everything, I wanted more of him and more of his, see how more of a dangerous person he was, and because they kind of just stuck him on at the end of the series.
Sure.
Yeah, they stuck him very much at the end, and you kind of show, like, Kate Bishop is like holding her own against Kingpin, which is impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Because Kingpin, you can tell that he's very strong, but yeah, I think I would like to see more of Kingpin in the series.
Mm-hmm.
I think this was a good introduction for Kingpin to enter the cinematic universe.
Oh, yeah.
Per
Yes.
se. So, like, we'll probably see him in a lot more of the future projects down the road. At least that's what was heavily implied, that a lot of these characters were going to start making their appearance. I think they said that Matt Murdock, Daredevil, was supposed to be in the series, but due to COVID and schedule restrictions, he couldn't. They wanted him at like all of the different TV series that they're recording to make cameos in, but they couldn't for COVID and all that stuff. So
I think they also had some characters in this series that they really didn't go in huge detail. For example, like Jack.
that was my point. I felt, because I believe Jack is a character in the Marvel comics. These was like the Swordsman or something like that.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
They didn't really go much into his story, and so you're just kind of like...
They set him up to be the villain, but he wasn't the villain.
He wasn't a villain, and he was helping them at the end, and I just felt lost with his character.
Yeah, they could have taken more time to develop him.
Like, honestly, I probably would have been fine if they didn't have Kingpin and we had more
him.
Jack.
Mm.
Well, not necessarily. I just wanted more time with Jack. Because, like, I want to see his interaction with Kate's mom.
Yeah.
Where it's all like, hey, you totally left me out to dry. You
Yeah.
called the cops on me.
Again, it's one of those things that could have been, like, resolved if they added, like, another episode or two.
Yes. I mean, it was a short series. It's one of the shorter series. It was like
6?
It was 6 episodes. Yeah, we got to, like, the 6th episode. I'm just like, wait, there's more after this, right?
Nope.
No, and they rushed a lot at the end.
They did rush a lot at the end, just to kind of finish everything off. Again, they should have done, like, an 8-episode series instead of 6. But then again, they might have felt that Hawkeye was much more of a minor character, and he didn't deserve as much time. I mean, if you're gonna add in, like, you know, the Kingpin as well as other new characters like Jack,
You need more time.
you need more time to develop those characters, and so that we were actually like, oh, Jack, we're rooting for Jack at the end instead of just like, oh, he's helping, I guess.
Yeah, and then you've got like Echo and Kazi, which Kazi was like, I don't know, he was a part of it, but not really.
Yeah, I have a feeling that
I felt like they could have left Kazi alone.
I think Kazi and Echo, I think this was their introduction because I think their story will be more explained in Echo's show.
Oh, I'm sure there'll be like flashbacks and stuff that'll help develop it. Although, that's something I forgot to mention is I loved Echo's backstory about her growing up and her dad and just like... I'm hoping to see more of that in the Echo series, but yeah.
Yeah, so I felt like they spent a lot of time with Echo and developing her, which makes sense because she's getting her own spinoff. But like they kind of just like at the end, I just felt like they kind of like pushed her off to the side a little bit.
As soon as Kingpin became the revelation, it was all like, yeah, you're no one now.
Yeah, you're no one. We want Kingpin.
Yeah.
And that's why I kind of wish that, like, Kingpin... I
was
wish
like
they just...
at the end.
Yeah, I think that would have been a better thing to have, like, Kingpin was in charge of everything and been like... That would have been the reveal at the end of the season. I think that would have been more impactful.
Yeah. And people would be like, oh, I want more.
Right.
Yes. And that would have been a really good lead-in to the Echo series if, like, Kingpin was a part of that or something.
Yeah.
I agree with that, yes.
Okay. Oh, I mean, I enjoyed seeing Kingpin in the series just for the fact that I was like, okay, he's the MCU Kingpin.
Yes.
But, you know, yeah, I do agree. I mean, it did distract away from, like, the characters that
they were building up this entire series, and then forget about them.
Yeah.
We got Kingpin
right
for the last episode, and I'm like, okay.
You gotta like shift your
I've got
gear.
this new bad guy, which if you hadn't watched the Netflix series, which I believe you still can,
Oh
if
yeah.
you have Netflix, go ahead and watch those. They're great. He does a fantastic job as Kingpin.
He's a scary dude.
Very scary. But yes, last question I have.
Yeah.
Favorite trick arrow.
Oh jeez.
What was your favorite trick arrow?
I like the Pym one.
The Pym Pym
Yeah.
arrow. Yeah, that was.
The Pym arrow's cool.
You know, where you just see the
the giant arrow.
The giant arrow just come and
Just
smash
through
the card out.
bridge.
That was great.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Or-
I don't. I like the one that I'm thinking about is like the ooze one, like the the purple oozy
goop
stuff,
one.
goop one. Yeah.
Yeah, that was funny.
It's funny because most of the arrows are like non-violent
Right.
things, and
Yes.
so it's just like, oh, that's an interesting thing. He doesn't want to kill people.
That's what it showed too, because like I was actually watching a video of like where the arrows, if he was shooting an arrow where they were landing and they were just like in the shoulder or in the leg or in the hand, it wasn't like trying to kill.
Lethal.
Was this like he could kill somebody if he wanted to?
Yes,
Easily.
but he chose not to try to kill people because he's there's been enough killing.
Yeah.
And he's trying to move on from that.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, no, I love the part at the end where Kate Bishop shrinks the van, and they're like, "So, what happens to him now?" And he's like, "I'll have to ask him about that. I don't know." And then the bird. Was it a pigeon?
No, it was an owl.
Owl. The owl. Yeah, that's right. Owl. Hawkeye. That's right. Owl comes and takes it off. And like, okay, well that just happened.
You just hear the little screams.
Bro.
Bro.
Maybe we'll get that in the Echo series. We'll get that resolution.
Yeah.
So what happened to those
What
guys?
happened?
Oh yeah.
Maybe it wears off or.
Oh, who knows?
All right, so let's rate the series. Let's give it a Mickey bar out of 5.
I'll give it a 4.5. 4.5 out of 5.
You'd watch it again.
I'd watch it again. It was very entertaining. Again, it's Christmas, so you can watch it again during Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
So because it has several of those Christmas elements to it that you can still enjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Mark?
Oh geez, the number that popped in my head is 3.5, but
3.5.
Yeah.
Nice.
I really enjoyed the series. I just feel like I enjoyed Loki more and
Yes.
WandaVision more.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely better than Falcon and Winter Soldier, and I definitely cared more about the characters and Hawkeye more than that other series. So, yeah.
I would give it a 4. 4
Okay.
Mickey bars. I thought it was a good series. Yeah, I mean, there's been 4 Marvel series.
Let's see. We got
If
Wanda.
you don't count What If.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we had Wanda, Falcon,
Loki,
and Hawkeye.
Yeah, 4.
4. Technically, What If's part of the MCU.
Yes.
Technically. I mean, that has been
Yeah.
confirmed.
Well, when you're dealing with like a series that goes about multiverse, anything can be canon.
Well, I mean, we've seen that. I mean, I don't know about you guys. I saw the trailer for the Doctor Strange movie, and it looked like a dark Doctor Strange in there.
That would make me excited to know that that's the same Doctor from
What If?
What If?
That
That
would
would be
be
exciting.
Yes.
Even if not, it's interesting because it's just like there's a whole multiverse of characters out there. So, but yeah. Anyway.
Yes.
That's a
So,
subject for another day.
there's so much you could talk about in the Marvel Universe and the multi-universe, which if you read or see Spider-Man, you'll know that it gets in more depth or in detail of
It just gets
that.
more and more convoluted, and I love it.
And Doctor Strange is going to be all of that too. So
Yeah.
the multi-universe is going to be fun to watch, and I'm excited to see where it goes. But let us know what you think of the series of Hawkeye, and what if you would recommend it to others, your favorite character in Hawkeye, Are you all for Pizza Dog?
Pizza dog.
No.
And you can follow us on Instagram, our Facebook page. You can email us at matterhornyoders@gmail.com. You can also send us a voice message on our Anchor page. We also have a Twitter
Page.
What's our Twitter?
You can still see us on Twitter, Matterhorn Yodelers, but we're at Matter Yodelers.
Matter Yodelers. So thanks for listening, and have a magical day.
Thank you for joining us on this week's episode of the Matterhorn Yodelers. Please remember, before your bobsled comes to a complete stop, to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. And remember...
Remain seated, please. Permanecer sentados, por favor.